Well, I'm going to talk to you really about some of the more sober things about social marketing. Because our interest in this is that social marketing is great because it increases desire for offers. But with that comes additional cost. And certainly if we see that these things are taken up by the wrong sort of people, then suddenly the costs are very hard to budget. So our view here is very much about how can we control and manage those costs, how can we budget on those things, but also how do we see some of those cold-face issues as well, customer service issues, some of those other things, the fact that Facebook, in particular, the pages are now essentially the primary customer service page. And that all has an impact on how quickly you respond to them, how quickly you can look things up, and everything that you do. And I think that the opportunity to get things wrong, particularly in the promotional world, has become less and less. So it is going to be a balanced view. We've learned so far today that savvy shoppers are social, that social users are savvy shoppers, that one of the main drivers for social is to get deals, to get offers, to get coupons, things like that, to actively hunt them out. And there's some fairly ugly things that we see going on at the moment as well, where you'd like to think that everyone is like us and very honourable and morally strong and upstanding. But as far as I can see, there's a whole chunk of people in this country that don't really work, but are very happy to get free stuff from whoever's giving it to them. And these are the people I think we need to be a little bit mindful of. I'm going to give you a very quick one page, that's it, introduction to fixed fee in general. If you haven't come across fixed fee, it's a very elegant solution because it means that you can cover all of the costs of a promotion. So that's all the reward costs, all the fulfillment costs, all the handling costs, all the customer service costs, all of the other bits and pieces for one pre-agreed fixed fee. Now for some brands, they say, it's fine, we can manage that, it's okay. Even if it goes bananas, we can manage it. It's all good stuff, it's all additional sales, it's all good coupon redemptions, it's all fine. But for other brands, they'll say, we cannot have a penny overspend on our budget. And a penny overspend is obviously a disaster for the brand internally. And so that's where we fix this. And of course, most big brands will consider insuring their risks for pretty much everything that they do, and often on very small risks as well, not just the big ones. But there's some other benefits as well, on the basis that not every single person does the thing that you ask them to do. Not every single person goes online to check their code. Not every single person collects their 3 packs to mail off for something. Means that you can get a much bigger promotional headline for the budget that you have. So there are some good things about fixed fee. So that's all I'm going to say really about fixed fee and us. And you saw a little sneak preview of this. So a sober view, some great things, some probably bad things, and some fairly ugly things around the world of social marketing and the impact of consumers within that. And I think I don't want to sound too much like a boiler repairman sucking through his teeth at everything that we see, but because we're very much involved in that coalface of consumer redemptions and consumer promotions, we do tend to see quite a lot of it. Speaking to the guys at Enable at lunchtime, I think they sort of share my view as well, a whole chunk of very grubby people out there. So good. Of course, we all know this, and this is the stuff that you heard in the first half of this, this day, that it is an incredibly powerful tool. It is an appropriate tool. And of course, what it does, it can drive awareness, it can drive involvement in traditional sales promotion activities. So we're not necessarily here just talking about a social media campaign, we're talking about social media helping traditional promotional marketing campaigns. And of course, it's great at building communities of loyal and interested fans, people who like what you have to say about your brand, people who want the stuff you want to give them. But equally, it's a bit bad as well, because it does also, as a byproduct, build communities of disloyal deal hunters. And of course, some of these people, it's fine, it's all good, they're all good consumers, and why wouldn't you want to encourage them to hunt out the coupons and the deals before they shop? But the other side, of course, is that it does change the view of what your population looks like. It changes your normal parameters of what you might expect as a cost, a sort of normal redemption rate. All of this has been sort of skewed because essentially the people participating are the people who are actively hunting. And there is a significant customer service impact as well. And I have a few examples to show you. But I think very simply, picking up again on a point that was made earlier, that people will research purchases before they make them. People will actually go and see what other people think. And if one of their sources happens to be a whole feed where people say, oh, I had this experience and it was rubbish, and I did this and it was rubbish, you might think that actually that brand and that company is rubbish. Chances are they're not. It was just that they're a very aggressive group, a small aggressive group of people who think it's much better to go to Facebook, put their complaint there, because they know that they'll get satisfaction within minutes, because it's an uncomfortable place to see negative customer service issues. And there's some ugly things as well. We're seeing an increasing amount of brand bullying, and actually it was my 8-year-old daughter who identified this really as true blackmail when I was trying to explore whether I should be suggesting to the hire car company in Ireland when my car broke down at the Giant's Causeway. And I had to sit by the car all day, and the kids went and played on Giant's Causeway, and that sucked. And of course they said, well, I'll give you a day's rental, and that's fine. And I was saying, well, maybe I should tell them that I'm going to tell everyone I know that they suck. And my 8-year-old looked up and said, but that'd be blackmail. And you go, well, that's exactly it. That is what is happening out there. But unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of this. And we also are seeing that social gives a large opportunity for fraud as well. And I think that you may take a view that it's all good. Every redemption of everything, every offer, everything that happens out there, it's all good stuff, it's fine. Unless you're the person that writes the check for that thing. And if you are, and suddenly you see that a load of people are participating that you didn't expect to, a load of people are participating fraudulently, that's something obviously you have to take fairly seriously. So we've talked about the fact that it is a powerful tool. And certainly when we look at forecasting redemption rates and participation rates, we look at levels of support. And traditionally we would say, well, if it's a TV support talking about that specific sales promotion campaign, it's going to do better. It's going to deliver more results on the sales promotion campaign because more people are going to be aware of it. Actually, we're seeing now that a well-executed social campaign around a traditional sales promotion will deliver the same sort of uplifts that we might have expected on a TV support campaign. So it's a really good, cost-effective way of delivering added awareness and participation in those traditional pieces. But clearly, it will have an impact on cost. And if you are exploring these other things, just budget for that overall increase in promotional costs. It's fairly sensible to say. But don't assume that the results are going to be the same as last year where you didn't have it, because they won't. They're likely to be better. Now, of course, a lot of brands try to recruit people to their Facebook page. Some will do it through great content. Some will do it through relatively strong, offers or news or other things like that. And of course, some of those are risky and some of those are not. So you can have daily draws. You can have the first 100 people to get their spam count, which is just phenomenal. Spam. Who would have thought? Coming away from the microphone there. Or you can limit the number of rewards on a day, but that means your headline is going to be limited as well. So if you say we've got 10 of these things to give away a day, when they're gone, that is all you can talk about. You might say, actually, we want to give every single person to like our page a something. We might want to actually say that every 100th person gets a something bigger than that. And of course, when you're looking at that potential cost, that becomes tricky. It's tricky to understand what a seed universe is here, because is it the 10 people that you first tell? Is it your 500 initial likers? What is that group of people? And then actually, what is your true universe? How big is it going to get? How many people are going to like? And then coming back to this thought, who are the people who are liking you? Who are the people? Are they people that like you? Or are they people that just want the freebies that you're giving them? And so obviously, this has an impact on the sort of costs and the sort of management that you need to think about. And obviously, if you are looking at something where you're incentivizing likes, then consider those no-risk options or an insured solution, which we'll talk about. So a question really for you, are the people that are liking you, are they your friends? Are they friends because you inform them, you entertain them, you support them, you give them the stuff they want that normal friends do? Or is it just because essentially you're giving them some stuff? And this ages me a little bit in my points of reference, so apologies for the youthful people here, last century references. And of course, I think, and again, this may just be because we see that hardcore of cold-faced moaners and groaners, but we think that the people who are after your free stuff are also probably the people that know every trick in the book to get more free stuff. So it's almost with some warning that that you should proceed. This is an example of, I think, quite a sweet campaign that an agency, Initials, did for a brand called Naked. And very simply, you received a sample in the street. If you liked it, you went on and played a game. If you received a leaflet as well, you had another code, you could play another game. If you recommended someone else, you could have another game. And each game won you a guaranteed reward, a coupon. Every 100th person won a voucher. And at the end, everyone got entered into a draw. So as an example, it's a creative way of doing this, but again, how many people are likely to get that freebie? How many people are wanting to see that through? Interestingly, the reward at the end was a great holiday to, I think, Santa Monica. And we knew very quickly that this person who won it was a blogger, because essentially she, or not a blogger, but a comper, because she immediately published that next to all the other prizes that she's won. And of course, she looked nothing like the profile that Naked was trying to go after. She was a professional comper sitting at home, just basically entering anything she could do. And it's fine, it's all good stuff. She won, the prize was given away, it was still a headline, it was still motivating. But was it the thing that you actually wanted to see? Talking very quickly about coupon downloads, because obviously we heard from Stuart earlier, the coupon download market is clearly growing. It is growing because more people are more familiar with it. It's growing because it is more immediate. People can get the stuff they want immediately. And there's growing acceptance as well. All the retailers know about it. People know what to do with them. You know, it's not a difficult thing to participate in. A little word of warning when we're looking at this as well, because there is a possibility, and there are a number of coupon download people out there. Some of them are very secure. So coupons.com, real point of difference is that they are a secure business. You can print once, that's it. Others, you can print 100 times if you want to, or even worse still, you can just bring up your print box and you can print to PDF, and then you can email it to anyone you like. Now, of course, the problem with this is that suddenly you've got this real audience and this real opportunity, and then you've got a whole bunch of other stuff. You don't really know what's going on. You don't know how many people are doing this. And that becomes scary. It becomes scary if people are fraudulently using it. And also there's something a bit wrong about that value exchange. Normally you would say, well, look, like our page, do this, give us some information, engage with us in some way, and we'll give you some stuff back. And that is a fair exchange. Suddenly you've got a whole bunch of people who are receiving the free thing, but are actually not exchanging anything in return. And that just feels, again, a bit morally wrong. Now, of course, coupon download and coupon redemption costs can be insured, and it's certainly an important option to consider if you are looking at anyone who likes this page can do this. And certainly, again, looking at some of those examples we've seen, the speed of recruitment of likers for the right sort of campaign can be just terrifying. And I think really the tip here is just don't undervalue the value of secure coupon downloads. This piece here is really talking about the control that you might think you have as a brand owner. And you might say, it's great, look, we've got our Facebook page. That allows us to control the message out to consumers, and that's good. And we have Twitters, and that's good as well, because we can control that. But the reality is the social space goes much, much beyond this. Clearly on Facebook there's a dialogue, and suddenly you're there faced with not your own content, but content that other people are obviously putting on your Facebook page you need to manage. But I'll come on to that in a moment. But actually, look at the impact of these money-saving expert type sites, the Hot UK Deals, all those free stuff sites. Look at the way that other ways of communicating can have an impact on promotions, both negative and positive. Look at eBay, and I've got a couple of examples that will certainly make me smile. So I think here, the point is, if the thing that you're giving away doesn't have a physical cost to you, or you know that the model works, that essentially even if you had 1 million people coming in and getting their thing, the model sustains, then this is great. It's great stuff because essentially you can communicate a good offer instantaneously across anyone who happens to be interested in offers. If the thing actually has a physical cost and you need to write some checks at the end, then clearly these are the things you need to be aware of. So I'm already sucking through my teeth like a little boiler man going, it's terrible. And actually, these people are savvy, and it's not if they don't know it themselves, then there are plenty of resources, and this is something, again, just taken from Money Saving Expert, probably a better description of how money back offers and try me free type offers work than most people in the promotional marketing world could actually summarize. And so here it is saying, this is how it works, watch out for this, do that, then do that, and you probably have to do that, and then here's a whole list. I particularly like, there was one slide earlier where someone managed to actually scroll up a thing on a PowerPoint slide, and of course I'm going to have to learn how to do that. But that's just the top of a long, long trail of information where it says at the moment, if you want to buy a little red box of cheese, you can get your money back. If you want to buy curry mix, you can get your Try Me free. Suddenly this becomes your shopping list. You look through this and you say, well, actually, I'm going to buy all of these things, and I'm going to go through the process and actually just getting all my money back for all of those things, and I've got a basket full of free stuff. And that again changes the universe that you would normally look at. Lots of things out there, lots of things you think it's great. Original Source are giving away free bottles of coconut shower stuff. All you have to do is go onto Facebook and show a picture of yourself with it, and that's great. Again, it's difficult to understand how many people are doing that. And even if the stuff is free, the delivery cost probably isn't, the postage probably isn't, the actual handling and management of it probably isn't. And of course, those are the costs where it can get a little scary. You just have to go to any one of these sites, and you just have list after list of these offers there. And again, as I say, if the model sustains, it's brilliant. If you're a pizza restaurant, then it's fine to give away a free pizza because you know you're going to be getting extra drinks and extra starters and all those other things. The model works. It's fine. But as I say, if someone needs to write a check for these things, just be a little mindful of it. Simple things with samples as well. Now, of course, I'm coming on a little bit to some of the bad things from our point of view. So it's not necessarily bad because essentially lots of people are reading about your thing and lots of people are participating, and you could be saying one punching the air, that's all great. But again, it's a challenge probably to think about. So they're great, almost instantaneous, but also they're terrible because if the response has a cost, it can make budgeting incredibly difficult. Your profile of responders may be odd. You may have suddenly a group of fans that actually aren't your fans, but they're just essentially people who wanted the free stuff. And these are the people that essentially will say, do the right thing, or else I will turn mean. And we see this time and time again. So plan and budget for those money-saving site uptakes, and fill the loopholes, because if there is a loophole, consumers will find it. And there's an example here. This is something that we didn't cover, but Coca-Cola ran towards the end of the Olympics last year, and it was an incredibly powerful piece. Essentially, we're saying, register with them, and you receive a coupon for a free bottle of Coca-Cola at Boots the following day, one day only. The coupon issuing bit wasn't as secure as it could have been, so obviously there's probably some fraudulent use there. But just an example of these narratives that go on. Suddenly on these sites, I tried to do one of these for my son too, but it won't go through. Maybe it's just one per household. And then immediately, within an hour or two, oh, well, I tried to do one for my son too. Just use a different postcode and an email, and that's fine. And you think, well, that's it. That's a loophole. Someone's published it. Loads of people are going to do that. And of course, that's the sort of thing that has an impact on cost. I talked about customer service as well, and this is an example of Samsung. I mean, Samsung to me is a great company. I don't know if anyone else had an experience with them and they want to challenge me on that, but I think they're a great company. But I'm looking at their Facebook page at the moment, and suddenly I've got a whole load of stuff which makes me think, oh, maybe they're not so great. How long does it take Samsung to contact someone via a customer service department? I've sent 2 emails, it's been 2 weeks, it's not good enough. Paul Watson, still no joy from Samsung, why the Blu-ray doesn't work, absolutely shocking. Now, of course, these aren't abnormal comments. These aren't abnormal requests. People will have a question and obviously just want to get an answer. But the problem is that they're now going to Facebook and they're using this as their customer service one. And so suddenly you've got what actually looks like a disaster. It's not a disaster, nothing's changed. But probably the thing that has changed is these people have become angrier, and angrier possibly for two reasons. One, because everyone demands things much quicker now anyway. But I think also because they know that if they make a really angry message, if they put 8 exclamation marks, probably someone will get back to them quite quickly. Probably someone will over-satisfy them with their reward. And this is something, again, from a brand point of view, you need to consider, because the knee-jerk reaction is, give them stuff to shut them up, make them go away. And that can become expensive, of course. This is a piece of very nice, very successful on-pack promotion delivered by the Big Kick. And celebrating this character here, who's the creepy bear that lives in your freezer, Clarence. Good traditional sales promotion campaign, send in tokens from pack, receive a bear. Now, of course, with anything like this, there will be bits where it doesn't quite work. Bits where the consumer has put the wrong address on the envelope, or where the data isn't captured quite correctly, or because the writing's illegible, or because the thing got sent out and got stolen or lost. These things happen, and you'll always get a proportion of those that just don't seem to get there. A year ago, 2 years ago, the normal way of dealing this would be, I haven't got my thing, customer service team, could you send it to me? Oh, well, let's just check. Oh, we sent it last week, we'll send you another one anyway. It's a very gentlemanly way of dealing with it. But of course now it's all delivered through Facebook. Actually, this lady here, quite nice. She's saying, I would love a Clarence keyring. This is the second offer that came quickly after the first one there that you saw. But I'm very reluctant because I've never received my first one. Now that again, to a casual onlooker, makes you think, well, that sucks. This is a con. This isn't a real promotion. Then no one's getting their things. As it happens, it just didn't get there. So normal procedure, send it out. But actually also to point out that Birdseye fairly early on have taken a very proactive decision with anything like this, which is get them off Facebook. Let's stop debating it on here. Just say, we're really sorry to hear this. Phone up this number. We will give you satisfaction. And then, of course, you get responses. This one just said, thank you, we'll ring them later on. But equally, those responses could be celebrations of the satisfaction they've got. So it could be, great, I've just spoken to the customer service team, and it's great, I'm getting my bear, it's all been sorted out. So it's just being aware that anything you do, which involves traditional promotional marketing, will have an element of people. As an observation, we see that the speed of escalation internally becomes terrifying as well. And we often get agencies phoning us up saying, the chairman has seen this on the Facebook and they are thinking there's a major problem going on. There isn't a major problem, it's just that this stuff wasn't seen a year ago. We've talked about that the brand's Facebook page has become that easy to find primary customer service portal. It is visible, it can't be ignored. And as I said a moment ago, that brand fear drives speedy and often over-generous resolutions. Now, of course, if you know that you've been calling a customer service number for a couple of days, no one's really come back to you in the speed you expect it to, but you go onto Facebook and someone's contacting you within 20 minutes and giving you the stuff you wanted and probably over that, then you think, well, that's it, that's my habit created. I'm never, ever going to phone the customer service number again. This is where I get the stuff I need. And of course, the real tip here is, and this is the difficult thing, is that you have to aim for that perfection every time in fulfilling consumer promotions, because imperfection is rarely tolerated now. People aren't saying, well, I understand everyone's human. It says, no, you're rubbish. You're a rubbish brand because you've not given me my thing. And really the thought here is you have to plan and budget, obviously, for that community management, and also sharpen everything. If people are saying, where is my thing, you need to have the tools at your fingertips to be able to say, okay, I'm going to look it up now, I'm going to find out, and there it is. This thing will make you smile. And again, surprising. eBay, Bear. Okay, so one guy's selling this for £30, that's quite a lot. But equally, we're seeing someone selling an empty pack. for 99p and £1.45 postage, just in case they can get some money out of it. And again, these are the sort of things that have an impact. They wouldn't normally be seen as social marketing. It's all good brand stuff. It's quite sweet to see, but it has an impact on cost. But then we do see some ugly things, and I'm coming to the end now. Auctioning of coupons clearly exists, and I know the IPM are trying to sort of find ways at the moment of making that more difficult to do. Great, you're getting the coupon redemptions. It's great. The people who are buying these coupons are definitely going to redeem them. That's great. But obviously that makes a switch to the sort of redemption rates and the sort of redemption levels you might normally see, because your audience looks different to your normal mass audience. It also probably begs those value exchange questions. If normally people are asked to collect, give some data or sign up to the thing to receive these things, and suddenly they're not, you don't know who they are, they're still redeeming. So they're getting the free stuff, but they're not necessarily giving you anything in return. And then final, as an example of just the terrifying speed that things can go wrong. This happened last year. It got into all of the press, and some of you will be aware of this. But Boots, by accident, running a draw, sent out a win message to 9,000 people as opposed to one person. Congratulations, you've all won a holiday to Barcelona. Now, of course, the trail is immediate. And of course, this again makes me think, these people aren't very much like you and me, just sort of going to work and things, because this is people who within seconds say, oh, I've just received this, it's great. Oh, I've just received it. Oh, that looks a bit rubbish. Oh, that's a bit fishy. And of course, these are the people that are immediately going to be vocal. And I don't have the trail that happened then obviously on Facebook and everything else, but obviously it was enough to get into all of the press to basically say that Boots has been, for that period in time, destroyed as a brand on the basis of this one small mistake. Now, again, a few years ago, you might be a bit annoyed, but you probably accept these things happen. But of course, now it becomes, it just becomes terrifying. So I think that the last thing to just talk about is some of the tips about managing those costs. And again, the sober conversation I'm having with you at the moment is about the fact that someone will have to write a check for the things that happen. And either you're happy with that because you know that loads of people are still going to do the thing, or you're not happy with it because essentially you're giving free stuff to people who don't deserve it. Understand the impact of social media, both positive and negative. If it's positive, it's great, it's going to make everything work better, it's going to promote it better. Negative, it might just mean that you end up having to give away more stuff at more cost. Manage fraud as best you can, limit those entries or the plays or the redemptions by the user. Limit the offers to your target or your current consumer. Try to link participation to purchase, all of those other things. Build in those small hurdles. Always issue coupon downloads via a secure server. Tighten up those promotional fulfillment and customer service things. Being not perfect is not acceptable any longer. And of course, consider insuring against over-redemption, because the universe with social is really just the universe, and that's an incredibly hard thing to forecast on. So the final slide really is, if you are looking, or if you're worried about those costs, is you can self-insure. You can just take it on your chin and say it's fine. It's all good stuff. We don't mind. Or you could say we're going to limit it anyway. We're going to have 100 cans of spam. It doesn't matter because there's no risk to us. That's all fine. You could insure over a level of risk. So essentially, you can say, well, comfortable up to this level, but terrified after that. So there's a band there. Generally less good value because it might be that you're paying up to that level and then there's an over-redemption piece on top of that. Or a fixed fee, which, as I say, covers from all of those costs and includes all those back-end costs as well. And that is the end of that.